After a week more, however, I hadn't found a single other lead on Jay's whereabouts, nothing that any two people on the ground could agree on. I couldn't ignore Kafr Hamra anymore. All signs pointed toward the village. I had to face my fears, or else what was I doing here in Syria but running around like a lunatic and giving the snipers a pale white face to target in their rifle sights? Either I went to Kafr Hamra, or I went home. I told my driver and the two journalists, Narciso and Joni, I was traveling with, what I'd decided. We drove through Aleppo to the village, passing several checkpoints manned by jihadis on the way. My gut tightened every time a fighter leaned into the window of the car and asked who we were. I said nothing, as I'd been instructed. Narciso and Joni also stayed silent. These were the moments we dreaded the most. I was bone-tired. My skin was peeling from sunburn, and I'd already lost 10 pounds. If I never saw another plate of hummus again, it would be too soon for me. I wanted a hot shower, a glass of good whiskey, and a real bed. But I couldn't leave Syria without coming to this place. We pulled up to the villa, larger than I imagined and painted the color of sand. There were two armed men standing guard, their faces covered by balaclavas. They pointed their AK-47s at the hood of the car. "Who are you?" one said in Arabic. The driver answered, "He is the father of the Belgian, looking for his son." The two men consulted between themselves. One of them ran inside. I waited in the car, needing a smoke. Was Jay inside there? Would I see his face and embrace him at last? Or would they tell me that he was dead? The young man came out of the house. "Only you," he said, pointing to me. "And you too." The Syrians who'd helped me find the place. Narciso and Joni didn't protest. I got the impression that they were happy to wait outside. I took a deep breath, opened the car door, and followed the young man. My heart was thumping. There was a row of shoes next to the door to the house. I looked quickly to see if I recognized Jay's, but I didn't want to be seen inspecting the boots and sneakers like a third-rate detective, so I slipped mine off and put them at the end of the row. My guide stayed in the lobby as I walked inside the villa. The entry opened up into a large living room where sofas were pushed against the wall. There were PlayStation controllers hooked up to a console, their black wires snaking toward a flat-screen TV on the wall. There were dozens of young men here, some of them wearing balaclavas, some not. Their eyes followed me. The room was quiet. There was a man sitting on a small sofa, alone. He had intense black eyes, a broad nose, long flowing black hair, and a thick black beard. He looked like Jesus, honestly, which was a bit weird, but then again, so many of the Islamic fighters did. His right leg was pulled up onto the sofa, a cushion beneath the knee. He appeared to be wounded. I didn't find out until later, but this was Abu Absi, the first emir in Syria to swear allegiance to ISIS, something that had happened only months before. That's what the people in Aleppo had been warning me about, how insane this new group that called itself the Islamic State really was. The group didn't use that title, not yet, but they sensed these people were different. Absi's hand rose and he motioned for me to approach. I took a few steps. I felt that if I moved too suddenly toward the emir, I assumed he was the emir, that I would be cut down by a spray of bullets before I could reach him. I sat down on the carpet in front of Absi. Before I could begin my appeal, he spoke. "I have no Belgians in my group." My heart sank. I thought I'd come to the place where I would find Jay, but this statement left me no opening. "Have you heard—" I began. Absi snapped his fingers. Suddenly, everything in front of me went black as someone yanked a hood over my head. I felt my breath curl back on the skin of my face. A surge of panic shot through my nerves. I yelled out. Strong hands yanked me to my feet. I was rushed headlong away from the emir. There was shouting behind me. What were they saying? It was happening. The scenario I dreaded. What had happened to Daniel Pearl and other Westerners. Kidnapping, imprisonment, beheading. I tried to get away, but the hands that held my arms were clasped on them with a powerful grip. I felt the ground beneath my feet fall away. I lurched forward, thinking I was being thrown into a pit. I turned my head away and braced for the impact. But my feet struck something. Stairs. We were going down into the basement. I clambered down 5 or 6 stairs. People were yelling things in Arabic, angry voices. We stopped.